For somebody who is tasting Riesling for the first time, who likes wine but has never tasted Riesling, what would you say, what would you have them think about and taste and try to learn about if you're going to give a class on Riesling 101? What is Riesling?
You think I always think one should not talk too much, but people should be impressed by the taste. There are people who have drunk a lot of wine, they drink Riesling, and Riesling doesn't talk to them. And there are people who have never drunk a single drop of alcohol. They sniff in a glass of Riesling, and they are fascinated by the pure focus, by the finesse and elegance in flavor. They have the first sip on the tongue, and they get like a shudder on the whole body, because it's the explosion of fruit, it's minerality, it's the wine dancing on your tongue with this nice mineral kick in the end. I think you cannot learn to understand Riesling. Either you are fascinated by it, or you will never get to it.
Is there anything on a label about Riesling that you look for? If somebody's looking in the United States at a label and they want to try one for the first time, is there any kind of a guideline you might give? Whether it's ripeness levels or area or...
It's difficult. I would always say, but also with other varieties, I would say the name of the winery is the most important thing. There are good Rieslings, there are bad Rieslings, there is good Cabernet, there is bad Cabernet. For me, always the name of the winery can guarantee or can stand for quality. So I'm not so interested in Riesling in certain quality levels. There can be excellent Riesling Ausleses, there can be weak Riesling Ausleses. So it's not really a sign of quality. I would always try to find a producer that I can trust.
That sounds an awful lot like Burgundy.
Yeah, Burgundy is also difficult to understand. You know, Bordeaux is it's much more easier to understand. The classification is very, very well done, and it's easy for people to understand what Bordeaux wants. On the other hand, for me, it's on a very high level also boring. I love the small climat, as they say in Burgundy, the differences from parcel to parcel. You walk 10 meters further and there's a completely different soil, a completely different taste of the wine. We don't have 500 barrels of Pinot Noir. We have 4 barrels of this, 7 barrels of that, 11 barrels of that. That makes the marketing and the availability of the wines much more difficult. But for me as a winemaker, it's the biggest gift if you see your soil shining in the wine. And I couldn't make those big cuvées and blending one vineyard with the other vineyard because I have big respect in front of the nature, and for me always nature is a boss, and when nature doesn't want, we can anything do to improve it.
So are there years when you just won't make a wine, either for a single vineyard, you just won't make a Dalsheimer Hubacher, or you won't make Burgel Pinot Noir?
Yeah, one has to say that last year, so we at the moment, we really feel the positive effects of climatic change. Our region always had great soils, the limestone rock soils, but in many cases it was a bit too cool the last 100 years. 500 years ago, we had those warmer times, and the wines from Flörsheim-Dalsheim, from Westhofen, they were very well known. The Kloster Lorsch, who only owned the best vineyards in Germany, they had the Rüdesheimer Berg, Schlossberg, Berg Rottland, they had in Oberhausen, the Hermannshöhle, they had in Bingen the Scharlachberg, they had in Nierstein, the Pettental, the Nackenheimer Rotenberg, and they also owned more than 30 hectares in Westhofen and in Dalsheim. So in the warmer times, our vineyards showed that a great quality is possible. But when it gets colder, we don't have that much sunshine to get the grape ripe. So the climatic change that we feel the last 15-20 years is the best that can happen to our grapes.
You talked about nature being the boss, and we talked a little bit before about wood and wood barrels with Pinot Noir. What's your approach to wood barrels and the Pinot that you grow, the Spätburgunder that you grow?
I think if you really have good sites, old wines, and a winemaker who has a sense and a feeling for Pinot Noir, one should not try to destroy the beautiful Pinot fruit by the overlay use of new wood. New wood for me is a thing that can destroy a lot. I always like to compare it to a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman. You don't. She is not beautiful because she has to stand for two hours in the bathroom, putting cosmetics everywhere in her face. She is beautiful when she awakes in the morning beside me, and I like her just as she is, and that's as I want my wines to be. They shall be pure. The soil and the work we invest in the vineyard shall shine in the wines, but not the new oak we use.
You mentioned when we looked in the vineyard that you don't plant anything in the soil that doesn't come up naturally. What kind of things come up naturally in the vineyard outside of vine grapes?
Yeah, there are many things coming naturally. The problem is that I don't know the English words for it.
Okay.